Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Been a good day so far, except I think I broke my little toe on my right foot today. I was getting fruits and vegetables all first thing this morning to get some greens at the farmer's market. Got my greens and then I went for a fruit haul and just walking out the door and just kicked something. I've done it about 5 times. I don't even really have a lot of pain. I think that little toe is dead now. But the only thing is just aggravation. I'm not really in pain and hobbling just a little bit, but it may affect my workouts. Hopefully, maybe the swelling, it's not swollen too bad, but it is what it is. I'll adjust my workouts accordingly. Might do more resistance work if I'm not going to be able to run, or I'll just have to see if I can get a shoe on there. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I thought about, for this last day of the week, doing just a little piece on arthritis. I was thinking about arthritis. This last time I was in the States, I don't know what, I think about it a good bit. My mom's had arthritis, God, as far back in my life as I can remember. I even remember her having problems with her knees like when I was, say, in my teens. So my mother would have been in my teens, my mother would have been in her late 40s or whatever. So she's had really bad arthritis that's, she's dealt with for decades in her knees. And I think now she's even got some in her hips. My father, interesting enough, had it, and from a fairly early age too. I want to say that he had started getting it a little bit by the time he was probably my age right now, if not a little bit older. He had arthritis in his hands. I remember had these big old joints. So I've always, been aware of arthritis, but like most of the diseases, I just thought, it was just something. It was kind of like the reverse lottery, just something, we were going to have to deal with if you were ordained to get that through your genetics. Now with this new outlook, new way of life, new way of eating, I have different views on things. So I just started looking a little bit of information today and thought we would talk about arthritis a little bit. This is just going to be a very novice discussion, explanation. I started making notes, and then I said, you know what? It was like I was doing a piece one time for my blog, which I'm getting back to writing now, and I was getting really deep into the piece, and then I was like, well, why am I doing this? There's people out there, they're scientifically minded, and they can write. They know so much more of the technical stuff than I do. One second. Okay, I'll tell you what, it's gotten so common. I swear almost every time I go outside with the purpose of doing something like a video or something that rain would mess up, there will be a few drops that come down. It's almost like sometimes I feel like I can go for sun, I can step in and out of the door, step out of the door, cloud comes over, a little bit of rain, step back in, sun comes out. But back to arthritis. I was looking through a few articles and I was making notes this morning, and I'm like, okay, the notes started getting longer and longer, and I said, well, you know what, there's people out there with a better scientific explanation of this stuff, with a more technical understanding than me. Like I say, most of what I like to do on this channel is bring awareness and make you realize that there may be, if you're suffering from arthritis, if you're new and you haven't, if you don't know much about the raw vegan lifestyle or a high carb vegan lifestyle, just to let you know that there are things we can do with our diet that you probably didn't think we could do to relieve symptoms or many times get rid of the condition. And where is this? All right. First of all, I had to look into this because I didn't really understand. I hear that stuff all the time, and especially I go to some groups where people are dealing with it. And I wanted to know the difference between basically the two different types of arthritis. Osteoarthritis, which is generally when you just say arthritis, that's what most people mean. Osteoarthritis is caused by mechanical wear and tear on the joints. Whereas rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease in which the body's own immune system attacks the body's joints. So, that just means that statement probably confuses it more than it actually gives me some understanding, because if I'm coming, you're dealing with, so now if you're talking about rheumatoid arthritis, I'm only going to stay on this for a minute because that's something I got no idea about. Rheumatoid arthritis, then you've got issues with your joints. There's the actual pain in the joints, but there's also something going on in the gut, because there's little things that may not, in other words, it seems like to me from everything I'm reading that there's little things that can trigger or help or not help you to heal rheumatoid arthritis that probably wouldn't bother you on osteoarthritis. But the rheumatoid, that's an autoimmune disorder, and like you say, the immune system attacks the body's joints. Raw foods dramatically help relieve arthritic symptoms, in large part due to the diet's absence of meat and grains. Now, I'm not anti-grains, in general. Some people eat grains, that's just what they're going to do. Now, what I'm understanding here, though, is, and my best understanding of, and like I say, just kind of a synopsis of different things I've read, is, and this is like for me, sometimes I like to present it from the point of, okay, what would I do? I'm not telling you what to do, not telling you to forgo any advice you might have had, and I'm not necessarily even saying go out and just like put all your faith in a raw vegan diet. It's just like, what can it hurt? Even if you're taking medication, you play around with your diet. Even if you don't believe in this, what have you got to lose? To play around with your diet a little bit. And the reason for most of this is experts say that meats and greens are acid forming, and the body uses calcium in our bones to counteract that process. Over time, we are so depleted of bone building sources due to unhealthy diets that arthritic conditions develop. And another just part of my notes I read here says one possible explanation for why the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis may vanish after someone starts the diet is because it can eliminate unfriendly intestinal bacteria. So see right there, it's getting a little trickier, because you've got more going on. There's a lot more going, and basically a lot more going on in the gut with the rheumatoid arthritis than there is just with regular osteoarthritis. Here's the way I look at it. If you were to go to a high-carb vegan lifestyle, a clean high-carb vegan lifestyle, I would imagine, it would be my guess and my belief, that you would probably have great relief from your symptoms there. But it's like, I like to think about these little scenarios sometime, and like, what would I do in that case? If I got cancer, if I had heart disease. And I'll tell you what I would do. I would go for the best of the best. I would experiment. I would be trying out everything. I would exhaust every possibility in my search to feel better. Now with food, this isn't an either or. This isn't one of those things, and like that's where a lot of people get upset sometimes, is when you're saying, okay, well, they're trying to talk you into doing one thing over another. Not saying you even have to eat and stop and completely get rid of the medical establishment, quit taking care of whatever medicine, quit doing whatever you're doing right now. Why not just eat better? Why not try this way of eating that's going to cause less inflammation in your body? Ergo, even if you don't, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing, black or white. So many people like to claim that this heals and heals and heals this. Well, even if it doesn't heal it, I'm sure, you clean up your diet, you get a lot of that inflammation out of your body, that you are going to have, the worst case scenario, you're going to have less joint pain. I mean, that would just kind of make sense. But if you need to experiment, at least experiment. It's almost like go, give it a shot. What I would do is, and there'll be some that'll probably be like, well, you don't have to go the raw vegan. And that's where I do get a little bit more hardcore about the raw vegan. If I was trying to heal something, I would totally recommend raw vegan lifestyle. But if you need to ease into it, or if you need a little bit of proof, just try it. Try it. You can always back off. Like if transition yourself. If you're dealing with diabetes, what I would do, arthritis. What I would do if it was me in the situation, I would transition into a raw vegan diet. I would be very clean raw vegan for at least 6 months. to see if see how that helped my arthritis. If it didn't help my arthritis, well, okay, well then everything about what we're saying is wrong. I wouldn't say it's wrong. It just, because I do know a good number of people that have gotten relief through just changing the way they eat. But, I'm always like holding those exceptions out there. There might be somebody, that it's not going to work for. But, okay, so let's say you're going to argue that, well, you could do the same thing, get the same relief with a cooked vegan lifestyle. So do it. Transition in, go raw vegan, and give it a good amount of time to work. Be a raw vegan for 6 months. Even if you don't believe raw vegan's the healthiest, you're not going to crash your health in 6 months eating like that. Be raw vegan for 6 months. See how your joints feel. If like you think, you get incredible relief in your joints and you see a marked improvement, and you still think, well, but I could do this with the cooked food, then you add some cooked food in. If you still feel great, if you're still healing while eating the cooked food, God bless you, more power to you, then keep eating it. But that's what I would do. I would go for the cleanest of the clean if I was dealing with painful arthritis. And then when I got the results, as I'm talking like I'm new to this lifestyle, and when I got the results, if it was really important to me that I was going to eat some cooked vegan food, I would introduce it back in slowly and be very aware if anything changed. If I was getting more relief, less relief, if I'm really starting to hurt again, if I'm almost going backwards. But be honest with yourself. This is about you and your pain. This isn't about being part of a club or, I believe in cooked or I believe in raw. You be the experiment yourself, like I am for me. Now, I believe mostly, like most things, that it's more, the health of our body is more about what we're leaving out than what we're putting in. But as I was leaving out all this acid-forming, inflammatory, acid-causing inflammation in the body, foods that cause acidic foods that cause inflammation in the body, as I was eliminating those, I would also, I don't know. I think maybe if you eliminated everything, that you could get to that healing, that pain-free place without adding anything in. But I believe in just, trying everything possible. There's studies out there, and I've always heard this one about ginger. In fact, I've even at 85, my mom's not going to make some drastic turnaround, become raw vegan, and, get up and walk like she's 30 years younger. She's deteriorated a lot having those bad knees for a year, but I'm always trying to think of things that might bring a little relief. So things I've thought of that I can add in that are pretty common to most people are ginger, turmeric, and cinnamon. It's the curcumin in turmeric that reduces the inflammation. Ginger has great anti-inflammatory properties, and so does cinnamon. Now, I found out when I was reading about those three, just to get, refresh myself, I also found out that garlic and cayenne were anti-inflammatories too. Now, I know some of you don't like garlic, so if you don't like garlic, don't eat garlic. Eat the rest of them and, add that in. So, yeah, just to sum it up is, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? If I'm hurting from pain, from arthritis tomorrow, I want to get all that would be where I would start. I would start by getting acidity out of my body, the acidity that causes the inflammation, and that inflammation is what's causing the pain of that arthritis. So, it's really kind of like, it's a simple decision. If you're hurting from arthritis and you're eating a bunch of junk, how much are you willing to give up anything to feel better? Are you willing to give up eating that crappy food to feel better? Anyhow, there's hope out there. There's hope for generally any of the health conditions that most people suffer from. The medical establishment tells us sometimes there's no hope, and like I say, I'm never going to go rail against the medical establishment. Even though many talk bad about it, it has a place in society. I don't think everybody that's in the medical establishment is some evil conspiracy type thing. So, I never want to discourage people or try to be like this total anti-medicine type thing. But you need to make up your own mind and take take responsibility for your health. Don't just put all of the responsibility of your health in the hand of these white coats. Do some research along the way. You know, a lot of the medicines, like my mother, she couldn't just stop taking the medicine she takes. I wouldn't advise her to. I would never advise anybody to stop taking medicine because I'm not qualified to do that. But let food be thy medicine. From the you know, every doctor out there takes the Hippocratic Oath. They should learn a little bit more about this cat Hippocrates. So even if you're going to the medical establishment, there's always things you can do to help yourself with your diet. And you know, everything that I've read since I've come to this lifestyle, it just shows me a lot of hope for people that out there that are suffering from arthritis. But people don't really want to hear it. It's like, you know, it is really true. It's true. I thought it was so ridiculous when people talk about food addiction and food as a drug, but people will really, they want that bad food so bad that they will suffer for it. I ain't suffering for any garbage bad food. Anyhow, hope you guys liked this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm about to get out of here now and go see what I can do on this foot. Was going to try to go to yoga class. It's feeling a little tender, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go to yoga class or just work out on my own today, just to kind of feel it out. But anyhow, hope you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to have a good weekend regardless, and we will see you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.